Hi, I'm Jelena,
Hi, I'm David.
and welcome to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
You're going to say that every time.
Yes.
Okay. So today we're doing two poses from the closing sequence.
Yes, we're going to look at Matsyasana and Uttanapadasana. Matsyasana means
Fish pose,
and Uttanapadasana means
extended foot pose.
not really, but that's what it says in the book.
So we're just going to go with that.
Yeah. So these are from the closing sequence. They're sequential, and they come right after Pindasana, which is kind of where you're hugging your legs in lotus. We can start there, and we'll show them to you. They're done traditionally the first one in full lotus, but we'll also provide a modification afterwards. Okay.
And before anyone asks, when David says that's what it says in the book, by book, we mean our teacher's book, Ashtanga Yoga Anushtana.
Yeah.
That's where it's translated as extended foot pose. Oh, and here comes Mr. Kani.
Bad timing, Kani.
Hello, Kani.
She's gonna be busy.
Thank you.
Yeah, come here, Kani. No, you have to. I can demonstrate.
You see who has better energy
Maybe softer.
and prepares food. All right, Kani, you go here.
I prepare food for you, but you never.
That's a different video.
All right. So we're gonna start here in Pindasana, and then so on Nava, we exhale down. Use the arms to lower down all the way, and the hips come down, the chest lifts up, and the head comes down. And then you catch your feet in lotus, or you could catch your legs if you're not in lotus, with the arms straight and the elbows off the floor. This is Matsyasana, fish pose. Nasagraya drishti, gaze towards the nose, and you hold for 8 breaths. And then on the 8th exhale, you can go into Uttanapadasana. You'll lift the legs, lift the arms and the palms together. And again, 8 breaths here. Okay, and then Pindasana Dasha, you're going to release your head down, but keep your legs in the air and roll back into Chaturanga Dandasana through Chakrasana. Or if you don't do that, just roll up and jump back. Just remember, do something. Good. Okay, so just those two postures, Matsyasana and Uttanapadasana. Okay?
They're hard poses. They're part of the closing sequence, so they're meant to help you bring the heart rate down and kind of restore your breathing, but they're still really challenging.
Yeah.
Especially because you've done the whole practice, so you're getting tired.
Yeah.
And you have to really be careful with the neck in this one. And if you're not staying engaged, it's easy to dump so much of the weight into that part of the body.
I feel like Uttanapadasana is much harder than Matsyasana, personally, because when I lift the legs, it's a lot more work in my core to hold the legs in the air.
Yeah.
I find Matsyasana kind of enjoyable.
I like it too, but it's easy to forget to use the strength in your arms to kind of keep lifting and finding more depth through the arch.
And of course, actually, Matsyasana is a very common posture across lots of different Hatha Yoga traditions. So we're teaching our Ashtanga version of it, which has its own conditions. So that's when Jelena says, keeping the arms off the floor, that's one of the conditions here. So you can do this ideally in full lotus with the right leg coming in first, left leg on top. Or, of course, you could always do it just crossing your legs. We call this Sukhasana, the easy pose. Either version, you're going to bring your hands to your legs. So in Padmasana, you catch the feet or the hands on the thighs. And then you're pushing your shoulders down towards the floor to lift through the center of the chest. Can you see that? Just make sure when you do that, you don't hyperextend your arms. Keep your arms spinning in so your scapula come away from each other. And then as you push with your shoulders, you get that downward rotation of the scapula that opens up the chest. And then, like Jelena was saying, be careful with your neck. See, Jelena's got a really flexible neck. It's easy for her, I think, to go into like too deep of an extension in the neck and pinch at the back. So she's got to limit it a little bit. Find what's comfortable for you. What I like to do in this posture is really explore the anterior tilt of the hips and the lumbar extension. Can you just lift this arm into the air for a sec? So you see this big space we get under the lower back there? Keep trying to lift higher into that by pressing up through the waist and rolling forward on your sits bones. And the cue is that eventually, as you roll forward on the sits bones, the knees will come down onto the floor. So don't initiate that movement through the knees. Otherwise, you could hurt your knees. You're going to do it by changing the angle of the hips, and then the thighs come closer to the floor. And then it's Nasagarai Drishti. Try not to strain your forehead and make a crazy face. Okay? And then from there, see, Jelena lifts the legs up, and then she's going to extend the legs, release the lotus, and bring the palms together. And we're looking for about 40, 45 degrees for the arms and the legs. They're at the same angle, more or less. The feet are pointed, legs are together, palms are together, and she's still holding that arch in the lower back. And this can be tricky. And here, the tendency is as you engage to kind of hold the legs that you flatten your back. See if you can go back into that arch and find a more kind of subtle and deeper engagement, really like tight in the core.
That was long enough.
That was long, yeah. All right. It's such a interesting pose, like when you start going into that deep back bend, I find.
Yeah, I always, one of the things that if I'm teaching in the room, one of the assists I do is I'll just kind of grab people's, can you do this? So here, and I'll do this and I'll pull them forward to kind of initiate the reach coming, because that starts to tip the weight more into the hips, and it allows you to find that roll in the sits bones. And then it becomes more challenging throughout your core. You really feel. And then the final step again and again, it's that squeezing of the legs, which helps. But you feel so much less pressure in your neck. It becomes almost light on the floor. Like the head is there for some of the support, but it's not.
Yeah, I would say in Matsyasana and Uttanapadasana, don't look for any feeling of like work in the neck.
No, yeah.
You're just carrying on the back bend, but you're not trying to, get any kind of, effort happening in the neck or pressure there.
The effort's here through your arms and through that arch, and you want to think about the weight going in the direction of your fingertips and your toes. So it's kind of going forward, not back. Yeah.
Yeah. Short and sweet. Yeah. But important postures. And these ones are part of the closing sequence. The closing sequence is a very important sequence. So you want to keep doing these poses all the time. Try not to skip them.
Yeah. If there is some major stuff with the neck and you really can't put any kind of pressure, then it's okay to keep the hand on the floor.
Oh yeah, or stay on the back of the head. Yeah.
So it can look, we'll just show it quickly. So if you're here, then you can stay like that, or you can even stay tucked. Or here, where there's no weight on my head.
She's using the arms to mitigate the weight, so the head is just kind of floating.
Floating, yeah. And I'm still kind of tipping my weight forward. I can still find that work. And then for the next one too, you can just stay there. And you still get the benefit of it. Yeah.
All right. How is that? Is that how you do it?
Let us know.
Yeah. Comment, subscribe, and like.
Okay.
Okay.
See you next time.